Well, Ashton, welcome back to New York.
I'm so tired. My body, everything inside me raw.
Tell us how the Grammys were. Ashton was gone last week. We had John filling in.
Shout out
because
to John, my
Ashton,
guy.
Mr. Hollywood over here, was at the damn Grammys.
Only for 2 to 3 days out of the year I get to be Mr. Hollywood. No, that shit was lit. That shit was fucking. It's exactly. People are saying like this is the best Grammys. And I will say, I ain't know none of the songs, but it was definitely like the best Grammys. It was fire.
Which number of Grammys is this for you?
5.
Wow.
5 years
That's
of Grammys.
crazy.
And they're all been like, all of them been different experiences. All of them are really cool. It's such a unique, random ass experience. I don't know how the fuck I like managed to get it, but
yeah, you wrote for the Daily Show. You know this is a one way me and Ashton differ in our philosophy in comedy. You know, Ashton like very successful using his talent on these great productions and making all this money, and I'm like, you know what? To each his own. To each his own. You know, that's your style. That's what you got.
The unsaid thing is, Joffer was almost at Daily Show. There is another universe.
There is.
Hillary Clinton's president, and Joffer is working. Joffer was working at the Daily Show. It literally was that. It genuinely
was. We both interviewed. I forget about that sometimes.
Literally between me.
So long ago.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, but that shit was crazy. I always get, like, get to see the performances, and I get to like roam around at the Grammys. I was like a kid in a candy store type shit, like, because I get like free reign. I know everybody there. I know, so I get to like do whatever I want in a sense. But
you hanging out with Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick was hanging backstage. He said he wasn't coming out unless he won. So
that's so cool.
He was like,
"Is it cool?" If anyone else said that, I'd be like, "What a douchebag!" Kendrick, I'm like, "That's awesome."
all the artists. What I was saying is, all the artists have their own like thing. I love Kendrick. I wish he was in the audience because we try to make jokes, and if you're not in the audience, it's hard to make jokes about someone who's not in the audience. But I will say, what happens is, every year I do research on like the new poppin' artists, and like I have a good time. I'm always like finding new music I like. This year was very white woman centered or oriented.
It was, yeah.
It was
Charlie
XCX, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan.
Chappell Roan, that's the big one, yeah.
Fucking all of them great. I have my rankings. I'm a Chappell Roan fan now. If you listen, like Hot to Go. What's that other one? Pony. She got another song. This shit's
yeah.
You see what's good. Anyway,
this is gonna be Kelly's favorite episode, just because you said that.
The shit's fire. But now I've listened to so many like this is the most white women I've listened to in a concentrated period of time, and now like. There's like a little white woman inside of me, just like in a cage, just waiting to get, just like screaming.
A caged bird. I know why the caged white woman sings.
Just inside of me, like in my heart, just banging. I came in like a wreck. Just like, in my heart, just threatening to call the police on my inner child. Just like
you're gonna change. You're going to be done with it. You're like, actually, I'm done with this podcast. I don't really see the point of this podcast anymore. Listen, what are we doing out here?
I'm about to go have a brat fall, spring, something, nigga, all that shit. About to go get drunk and scream a racial slur about Uber driver. I don't know. I don't know what brat.
I don't think all white women are yelling racial slurs at their Uber drivers.
That's what brat is.
It is?
Brat is.
I thought brat was like, like breaking up with your boyfriend and like going to the club and like
having a couple tequila sodas.
Yeah,
your Uber
bonding with your girlies.
Like, this is why we're bombing your country. You're like, whoa, drop me off here.
I learned something about Brad Summer.
Brad Summer, buddy. Yeah.
That explains a lot of my experiences last summer.
You got to be out more and more 2 a.m. You'll see 2 a.m. is when Brad Summer hits, all right?
I didn't realize I was also having a Brad Summer. I was on the other side of the brattiness a lot.
So you see 3 drunk Soho girls chasing after their Uber that's just kicked them out. Like, you're not going to call me no fucking slur. Come back, I'm sorry.
Well, let's start this podcast and get the white woman out of you. Get you back to who you truly are, an angry black man.
One episode of this, you're going to be right back there.
Welcome back, Cops the podcast, anti-propaganda police news podcast, all the horror and but brought to you by two comedians, so you'll have fun, you'll enjoy it,
and if not, at least you'll leave more disturbed.
Yeah, it's like watching a horror movie. You're like, I'm afraid to go to sleep tonight, but that was interesting.
Yeah, it's like Get Out. It's comedy, there's horror, there's a black guy. It got all the stuff.
It is like Get Out because of those reasons. All right. So first, we're gonna round up some of our police-involved headlines from this past week, these past 7 days. Starting out, cops in Hawaii kill a woman inside of her own home. R.I.P. Michaela DuPont.
Cop in Florida kills a man while off duty. R.I.P. Damian Orozco.
Cops in Texas kill a young man who was driving away. Victim here is not yet identified.
Cops in Pennsylvania kill a man they found with a stab wound on the side of the road. Victim is also not yet identified.
Cop in Texas kills 3 innocent people in a car crash. R.I.P. Angela Stewart, Mason Stewart, and Michael Hawkins.
Cop in Kansas lie about shooting a man 41 times for holding a wrench. R.I.P. Taylor Lowry.
Cop in Illinois has been cleared of wrongdoing for killing a man who was driving away. R.I.P. Jakarta Jackson.
Cop in Florida kills a family's pet dog.
Cop in Washington kills a family's pet dog.
Cops are facing a lawsuit for Texas brutally assaulting a disabled unarmed man during a traffic stop.
Cops in Alabama face a lawsuit for tasering a handcuffed man and then pressing false charges on him.
Cops in Tennessee are facing a lawsuit for assaulting a 60-year-old woman after illegally entering her home.
Cop in Texas is arrested for domestic violence.
Cop in Rhode Island arrested for domestic violence.
Cop in Florida charged with stalking his ex-girlfriend.
Cop in North Carolina is charged with child abuse.
Cop in South Carolina is charged with indecent exposure.
Cop in Maine gets indicted for child porn.
Cop in Florida gets indicted for child porn.
Cop in Massachusetts convicted of sexual assault gets to keep his pension.
Cop in Massachusetts convicted of child sexual assault gets his case set aside by the judge.
Cops in Illinois face a lawsuit for torturing an innocent man to extract a false confession and then sending him to prison for 29 years for a crime he didn't commit. Damn.
Woo!
Cops got busy this week.
Yeah, this was a doozy. This is a doozy of an episode.
Each one of these felt like reading one of Kanye's tweets. You're like, God damn, shit, fuck.
You're like, God, okay, at least it's over, right?
Like,
there can't be another one coming.
And none of these are funny. At least Kanye's one of them. One of them's funny. None of these like,
yeah,
cops get hit by a clown car. You're like,
Kanye, even in his worst mental state, he is a lyrical wordsmith. Damn, why is this still bars though? Fuck. Fuck.
Why did he tweet out, I turned down 3 Make-A-Wish kids yesterday? He said, yesterday is a punchline, bro. Yesterday. There's more. There's
my God.
more Make-A-Wish kids. Also, what kind of Nazi-ass Make-A-Wish kids are there out there? That's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
I'm sure they were having regular wishes, They're the Kanye apologist will be alive and strong till the very end.
Listen, regular wishes. I bet that'd be crazy if they're like Make-A-Wish kid was like, I want to meet a Nazi, and they bring him Kanye instead of like, I want to meet Kanye.
Damn,
it's the
that
reverse.
would be.
Why'd you bring me Kanye? I guess.
And Kanye will be so disappointed in that. Like, damn.
I am a Nazi, even though I'm a man of Nazis.
Poor Kanye.
All right, let's get it started.
Let's get this shit started. All right. So we are going to be starting here in St. Louis, reading from ABC 27. Chris Gatlin spent 17 months in jail for a crime that an artificial intelligence program said he committed, only to be freed after the prosecutor learned there was no real evidence. A grainy surveillance photo of an assault suspect on St. Louis's Metrolink led a computer facial recognition program to identify Gatlin. The first image this is a quote, the first image that popped up was of Chris, my client, and they took it, they ran with it, and they said, this is our guy, without doing any other investigation, his lawyer said. Even the assault victim didn't initially think Gatlin was the right guy. He warned police about his memory during the photo lineup. I was in and out of consciousness at the time, he said. You can hear him telling the officer, sorry. The victim initially picked 2 different suspects, not Chris Gatlin. I said, Quote, I said, I can look at these all day long, but I have no clue. I don't want to put the wrong person in jail, he recounted. During the photo lineup, an officer suggested he keep looking, telling the victim, this is crazy right here, telling the victim, quote, think about the characteristics of the guy, his complexion. And we'll go back to that. Don't worry. The assault victim then circled the picture of Gatlin and signed it. It was more like I felt like I was being pointed into doing something, the victim said. I didn't want to put the wrong person in jail, but I mean, I was left behind too. Gatlin remained locked up in the St. Louis County Justice System for 17 months.
Damn.
Right? That is life-ruining amount of time. And I don't know. Not much information about this guy. I don't know if he had kids. He definitely probably had a job. 17 months before the body cam video surfaced as evidence. And that's another thing. Cops sat on this exonerating body cam footage.
There's literally immediate footage.
Immediate. They kept that shit in their drafts for 17 months. Bro, fucking drop that shit.
A year just sitting in someone's
a year and a half pretty much.
That's crazy.
I just felt, this is from Chris Gatlin, I just felt hopeless and helpless because I was in a situation that I knew I couldn't get myself out of. So, now, I know a lot of listeners probably use their critical thinking skills and put together some context clues in this article of the race of Chris Gatlin, and I'll quote the officer again.
He's a nigga. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It's okay.
The officer didn't say that.
He said, think about the characteristics of the guy. His complexion, the texture of his hair, the shape of his skull. You know, just these random characteristics you can think of.
Looking at this caliper, you tell me the skull size.
Looking at these paint blots.
That's what they called them things where they
did.
The
I don't know the name of the tools.
It was like a caliper where they
the little claw.
Determining on a scale of 1 to 10. What was this skull? Now, would you say this criminal, was he breathing up all the white man's air?
The guy's like, I think it was that guy. No. You're not thinking in the right. You got the mindset all wrong here.
I'm going to show you drinks. We have water. We have White Claw. We have Kool-Aid. Where on the spectrum do you think?
Sir, just let me do my job, all right? This is just good old-fashioned police work I'm doing right now, and you're hindering an investigation. Do you want to go to jail?
It's just like, that's funny. So funny.
Yeah, so just to let y'all know listening, we are just getting started on this topic. So some background here. This is a new phenomenon, obviously, with new technology. Cops using facial recognition to lock up the wrong people. And so far, we have about a dozen known cases of this happening. And so far, every single person except for one has been black, meaning every single person who the cops have used AI to arrest them and they were wrong has been a black person except for one.
To that one guy who that one person, no, that does not mean you can say the N-word. He's like, so I can say it now, right? Yeah. I'm like one of them.
Yeah, dude. You know, you just broke his heart. He's listening to this. He's like, well, what does it take?
So I'm also getting racially discriminated. That's so crazy. I mean, like, it makes sense because it's like we have a. I'm trying to find the language to describe what's going on with AI. We live in like snake oil salesman age of AI, where like it's not real. We saw with like DeepSeek, and this is even you knew it before DeepSeek about AI, that it was like the Silicon Valley American version. The brand that we're getting of AI is literally, it's like LeapPad. It's not quality AI, and so of course it's. In police application, they're so quick. They're quick to sell the brand of AI. Like, oh, look, America has entered the new age of AI, and now all these they're trying to see how they can use the applications. But the AI isn't good. And so, of course, in application, it's not going to be good. And, of course, it's America. The first thing they're going to apply it to is fucking police work and militarism, military. And granted, AI, there are obvious, like, I can't speak in whole terms. There are definitely places where AI is helping doctors, lawyers, and in the military, whatever.
China. That place is called China.
Yeah.
They're destroying our AI capabilities on accident.
But for the most part, like commercial AI is just like it's
not there.
Software is like pad. It's not the thing. So the fact that we're using it in police work is like it's terrifying.
Of course. And I think that is a great point. And actually, keep your mic, sorry. For future, But I mean, that's a great point to bring up. Where it's like this, we live in this like hyper capitalist world where you always got to sell your thing, sell your thing, sell your thing. So of course, like it's a scramble to sell your product rather than the primary incentive being like, let's have a perfect product that's not going to hurt anyone on accident. That being said, counterpoint to that point, I think if this artificial intelligence is mixing up people of color and sending them to jail wrongfully, I think you could argue that is a perfect representation of police intelligence, and this is actually flawless AI.
No, it definitely
this
reflects.
Is AI working exactly as it should be.
This is real. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. You're 100%.
What more could you ask for police AI?
I don't see what needs to be fixed. Put millions of micro computations in milliseconds, all for it to come out to be like, black guy did it. Black guy did it.
Our latest model can racially profile minorities at a rate impossible for the human racist.
We're using supercomputer technology to access probabilities unheard of. We're accessing the quantum field, and what's coming back from that dimension is we need to lock up black people. That's what's beaming in from the fifth dimension that we're. That's like no.
And isn't it scary? Like, because remember, like, because we've had a couple incidents in New York where they'll like test out their little police robots, and everyone just like kicks them around and stuff, and it's fun. But it's like to see like how reckless they're already being with this. Like, they're the moment they can, they're gonna upload that shit into these police dogs and stuff, and just have them fucking chasing around black and brown people around the city, and they'll just be like
black and white photos of DARPA dogs on leashes, like it's the civil rights. Why is the photo in black and white? They got it in HD.
Hilarious.
That's crazy.
But the real sad part is that with the robots being so good at racially profiling that their AI is going to take the cops' job.
Shit.
What's the point of cops if the robots are sending innocent black people to jail themselves?
A bunch of Irish dudes in Staten Island going to be out of work. It's going to be fucking shitty.
Yeah, dude.
This AI, that's just, this shit, damn, to be a 21st century nigga, this shit is... But I mean, like, but it's funny you say that like the DARPA dogs, because it's like it is kind of like regular dogs too. You ever get like a regular dog and they're like,
you mean, like you're saying that dogs are racist?
Yeah, they're racist. They're like, I don't know. They're like, I don't know where he gets it from. You racist ass bitch.
Yeah, it's a lesser intelligence that's taking in inputs from its surroundings. Yeah,
what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right. It's the same as like ChatGPT saying that Palestinians are terrorists. It's like that's all it's not the robot, it's the inputs, and we are the inputs.
And this is AI. That's so great. Y'all got to start making AI movies more realistic. Fucking Vision from Marvel, from Avengers. If this was realistic, because he's an AI, and I know it's a nerdy reference, but
I don't know the reference, but I'm listening.
Okay, so in MCU, in the Avengers, one of them is a super AI.
Okay,
his name's Vision. He can like go through walls and shit. He can do all types of shit. He's like Tony Stark's greatest invention type shit. He's an AI, but if he was anything like this AI, he'd be like, I got Thanos. He'd be like, That's the Black Panther. That's Black Panther. Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. Now I got Thanos.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's Chadwick Boseman.
that is Falcon. And what are you doing? All right.
That is Morgan Freeman.
Are you sure this isn't Thanos? He's like, War Machine? It's just every black. That's your nerdy reference for the podcast for the day. I think
Thank you, Ashton.
spot on. I think it was pretty accurate, to be honest. But all right, moving on. Next,
we're moving on, but we're not moving on.
Okay.
So here is I mentioned that we're getting, this is a new phenomenon. So we've had about around a dozen of these cases that we know of. I should emphasize that. I mean, we don't know how many black people are locked up right now that have been falsely put in there because of this fucking AI shit. But here is another example, and a truly absurd example from last year. This is coming out of Detroit. I'll be reading from NBC. And it says a Detroit woman is suing the city, and it's still ongoing. The trial should be soon, honestly. But a Detroit woman is suing the city and a police detective after she was falsely arrested because of facial recognition technology while she was 8 months pregnant. Portia Woodruff, 32, was getting her 2 children ready for school on the morning of February 16th when 6 police officers showed up at her doorstep and presented her with an arrest warrant alleging robbery and carjacking. Woodruff.
6 a.m. Let's just really sit in that sentence. It's 6 a.m. You're getting your kids ready.
Mm-hmm.
At 6 a.m. I grew up single mama. I've been up at 6 a.m. It's only reason why that like stands out to me is because I got a sister, my mama. We up at 6 a.m. She cooking, getting breakfast, putting on pants,
robbing houses, jacking cars, doing crimes,
ski mask on, getting ready. You like, load up,
yeah,
putting a kilo of coke in the backpack in the Dora the Explorer backpack.
Yeah, I know.
Childhood
Yes,
stuff.
yeah.
No, I've been up at 6 a.m. We all have. We're not to act like I'm some special. We all been up at 6 a.m. getting ready for school with our parents. It's early in the morning. You're very vulnerable. Mm-hmm. It's like a very vulnerable time. There was one time a dude was like looking in my mom's window, like being a peeping Tom at 6 a.m. And I just remember opening up the door to go outside for something and just catching him. And just that being, it was scary, but the scarier part was it still being 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Night out. And just dude staring into my mom's bedroom window. Whoa. He just runs off. He had like a camera. Runs off. And that freaked me out. So I'm only saying 6 a.m. cops banging on you, like the anxiety of that.
No, that's a really good point. Like, if anyone knocks at your door at 6 a.m., you're immediately like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You're like, whoa, it's out of the norm. Nobody's coming to your house at 6 a.m. So that's just all types of like fear and anxiety I can imagine going up. Sorry, continue.
No. Woodruff initially believed the officers were joking, given her visibly pregnant state. She was arrested. Shut up, you pregnant criminal scum, you dirtbag.
No, be fair. What if he was like, oh, hey now, shut up, you dirty pregnant. Hey, what if he was like, he didn't have it's not all cops.
Partner's like, sir, she's got a baby in there. Arrest them both. We got room for 2.
Arrest them both. This is why I became a cop. People kept making fun of my high voice.
Here at Detroit Police Department, we believe crime begins at conception.
Hands up! Oh shoot, mister! That's it, buddy. You're good.
That's your impression of a fetus?
You just gave the cop, listen, I'm here. I'm still here for fairness, all right? You don't got to pay. We're doing what the media does.
That's true, yeah. We have a fair and balanced view of the police.
What he's doing is fucked up without having to pay.
All right, so they arrest a pregnant lady as she was getting her kids ready for school. So back to the article. Miss Woodruff later discovered that she was implicated as a suspect through a photo lineup shown to the victim of the robbery and carjacking following an unreliable facial recognition match. The robbery victim told the police that on January 29th, he met a woman whom he had sexual intercourse with. At some point in the day, they went to a BP gas station where the woman, quote, interacted with several individuals. They then left for another location where the victim was robbed and carjacked at gunpoint by a man whom the woman had interacted with earlier at the BP gas station.
So the cops, they hear him. Let me just from this, what you just said. This guy, the cops go and arrest the pregnant lady. And from the victim's point of view, this girl he had sex with, he robs him, and then now cops are like, oh. Well, clearly, the lady you had sex with is right here. She's pregnant.
Yeah.
I got some bad news. We found who killed you and your father.
Yeah.
Also, your dad.
Yeah.
She's pregnant.
Yeah.
She's
Episode of Cops and Maury at the same time.
You are guilty and you are the father. There's
No!
They both run off in separate.
Yeah.
No one's using their brains in this.
Exactly, yeah.
Things are. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
continue.
It's like a science fiction movie. It's like, we've never seen anything like this. She's
like
8 months pregnant after only 2 weeks.
There's a lot more to this investigation.
Should we send her to scientists to be studied? Send her to jail. Her ass is in jail. Okay, back to the article. The victim told police his phone was returned to the gas station 2 days later. So a lot of weird details. So the lady who set up him to be robbed then returned his phone to the gas station. The lawsuit filed Thursday and blah, 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 names Detective LaShantia Oliver, who was assigned to the case as a defendant. When the detective learned that a woman had returned the victim's phone to the gas station, she ran facial technology on the video, which identified her as Woodruff, the lawsuit alleges. And I want to emphasize this is surveillance gas station footage. So this is not some like clear-cut photo of someone like looking at the camera up close. It's a still. Yeah. It's a screenshot from surveillance footage.
It's Nintendo DS picture quality.
Exactly. Quote, Detective Oliver stated in detail in a report what she observed in the video footage, and there was no mention of the female suspect being pregnant. So again, this whole the whole giant ridiculous part of this whole story that we can't get around. Why the hell is this lady 8 months pregnant all of the sudden? So
and you wouldn't think the victim wouldn't mention that part to the cops.
Exactly.
You don't think when he's describing who robbed him and assaulted him, he wouldn't have said it was two of them. The woman and a baby, or whatever. Like that's a huge fucking.
I would bring that right away. I just fucking robbed my pregnant lady.
But beyond race, fucking anything, a pregnant bitch just knocked me out. What the
8 months pregnant, like unmistakably pregnant.
The first thing you say, buddy. Lock her up and that little kid. As soon as that little nigga get born, throw him in time out. Do something like.
She sped off. I was like, "Be careful, lady. You're robbing for two."
She made off with everything. They got away and it said baby on board in the back. That's all. So, the getaway car had baby.
Yeah. She robbed me at gunpoint, threw me out of the car, stuck a sticker on the back of my car, and then drove off.
That shit's fucking like taking candy from a bear.
Man, absolutely insane. All right. The victim was also shown a lineup of potential suspects and identified Woodruff as the woman he was with when he was robbed. Oliver used an 8-year-old picture of Woodruff in a lineup from an arrest in 2015, despite having access to her current driver's license. So, yes, one, he used a picture of her from 8 years prior. But again, I'm going to emphasize, he also used a picture of her when she wasn't fucking 8 months pregnant. If he had used a picture of her being 8 months pregnant, the guy would be like, oh, no, it's not the fucking pregnant lady.
Wait, so did AI, like, how is AI involved?
So basically, good question. The way this works is she took the still from the surveillance image and ran that through a software that does facial recognition. So then that software comes up with like multiple matches, which even that in of itself, even just the virtue of the fact that it's coming up with like multiple guesses
of real people, right?
Of real people.
Okay. It's not just generating faces.
Yes, these are matching it up with real people. But again, not just like, hey, this is the person. It being like, hey, we got your blurry gas station photo. Here's like, 20 people it could be. Like, I don't even know the number. And so the So yes, that's the order of operations here. Took the gas station surveillance footage, put it through the software. A bunch of IDs popped up, and then this cop, when it came to Woodruff, the photo that she used to show the victim, now that they have her ID through this AI, was an old image of her, not even a current image of her.
Damn.
So many layers of separation from what's reality,
and into so many areas where where this AI is calculating so many, just like there's areas of weaknesses where it's just like it can be exploited, and like, how do you say, it's just too many places where it could fail and potentially screw someone's life up when it's just like dragging together all these different faces of across the internet, like literally like it just did, and bringing up pictures from years ago and matching it to a blurry ass image, and then that being usable in the court of law. That's like
each step that's taken here adds like a multiplier on like the margin of error possible, to where they're just like in complete fantasy land at this point. And like, I'm sure like throughout this whole thing, well, it mentions it, so I'll just continue reading. On the day Woodruff was arrested, she and her fiance urged officers to check the warrant to confirm whether the woman who committed the crime was pregnant, which they refused to do. Woodruff was charged with robbery and carjacking and released from the Detroit Detention Center at around 7 p.m. on a $100,000 personal bond.
Jesus.
Her fiance took her to a medical center where she was diagnosed with a low heart rate due to dehydration and was told she was having contractions from stress related to the incident. So now we're like in really scary territory here. On March 6th, the Wayne County prosecutor's office dropped the case for, quote, insufficient evidence. And now she's suing. That's the story. She's
I love
suing.
how it's just that, no, I guess we got insufficient evidence. Bye. Fucking baby has trauma and shit from being locked.
And the baby at this point, like, should be born, and here's hoping that
revenge.
That's the name of her daughter. Revenge is born.
Little 3-year-old pigtails.
Welcome to Earth, motherfucker.
I punish the punishers.
Yeah, exactly.
Punisher and pigtails. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, here's to her like winning a lawsuit and having the city of Detroit paying the college fund for this little girl. Or boy. I don't know why I'm assuming it's a girl.
Imagine taking money out of Detroit. It's like, damn, nigga, we already got $72 collectively.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, there goes the schools.
Yeah. Here's your settlement, an IOU card written by hand.
Listen, we pay you. We're not going to have water to the Lower East Side, just to let you know. If we give you this money, they're not.
Yeah. They should just give her the precinct. All right, just take this.
So, yeah, we do owe you. So, you get free Eminem concerts. So
yeah, she'll be like, I want a refund.
This is why, damn, AI. It's we should have known that AI was like this, like, why we can't use it for like practical purposes yet. It's not there.
Yeah,
I knew AI couldn't tell the difference. I knew when I was doing CAPTCHAs, that's what they're called.
Yeah,
when you're sitting there like, if AI can't tell the difference between a bicycle, if that's what tricks robots, if it's like, which one of these pictures is a bike, and I'm like, click, 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 and it's like, oh, you're not a robot. If it can't tell the difference between bicycles, how the fuck is it going to tell the difference between black people? That's like...
Well, when you're doing a CAPTCHA, like, you're training the AI.
I know.
And it's like, dude, this is what we should be doing. If we want to train AI to get better at recognizing things, but a couple, which one of these
we
people...
got Michael Jordan, we got LeBron James, we got Kobe.
Yeah, the AI is like, why did you copy 3 people at once? It's like, no, AI, wrong. This is why we're training you.
Just fucking blue screen.
Yes. This is Terrence Howard, and this is Beyonce. That's my impression of AI.
My bad.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
So anti-racist CAPTCHA. Sharks, what do you think?
Keeps a couple black people out of jail, maybe, huh? I got an idea.
All right, so now we are going to continue, if you can believe it or not. It's about to get even more absurd. So I'm going to be reading from this Wired article, and this is absolutely insane. This was a few months ago, and I've never stopped thinking about it since. So it's an article about a company. Now, I'm going to explain this carefully. So what this company does is they'll take like a DNA sample, like a hair, whatever, and using that sample, they will generate an image of what this person's face might look like. So it's not real. It's made up. It's cartoon. If you go on their website, which I have, and you see the examples, it's like PS2 graphics, right? And police are using this company to take those made up cartoon generated photos and running those photos into the AI facial recognition software to then again pull up the IDs of real people and then going out and arresting them. So now yet another layer of error added to this that is causing people to fucking go to jail and have their lives ruined because cops are lazy and bored and stupid. I don't know. Like, this is just insane. So here we go. The company's called Parabon, so I'm reading from Wired here. Parabon says it can confidently predict the color of a person's hair, eyes, and skin, along with the amount of freckles they have and the general shape of their face. So here we go with head shapes again. It's always an uncomfortable place to be. Cops love going there. These phenotypes form the basis of the face renderings the company generates for law enforcement. Parabon's methods have not been peer-reviewed, and scientists are skeptical about how feasible predicting face shape even is. Ellen Graytack, the director of Parabon, characterizes the company's face predictions as something more like a description of a suspect than an exact replica of their face. And this will be like a continual theme of this company where they seem to like always like admit this. We're like, they'll admit that we're not making like super accurate things and that the police shouldn't be using this, but at the same time, they're letting the police use this and they're making money off of this. Quote, what we are predicting is more like, given the person's sex and ancestry, will they have wider set eyes than average, she says. There's no way you can get individual identifications from that. And here's a different quote. It's really just junk science to consider something like this. Jennifer Lynch, general counsel at civil liberties nonprofit, the Electric Frontier Foundation, tells Wired. Running facial recognition with unreliable inputs, like an algorithmically generated face, is more likely to misidentify a suspect than provide law enforcement with a useful lead, she argues. Quote, there's no real evidence that Parabon can accurately produce a face in the first place. It's very dangerous because it puts people at risk of being a suspect for a crime they didn't commit.
Yeah, because it's all police are going to get this technology. They only target mostly black people, so they're going to compile a list of people with this video game shit, and their whole list is just going to look like a NBA 2K courtroom.
Yeah, literally, dude. Just create a player.
Yeah, create a player. It's going to be a bunch of creative players. That's all it's going to be cool.
Yeah. They're like, neon. We're going to need backup.
We're
outnumbered.
I have a warrant for the arrest of Ball's life force. We're here. He's neon green dreads.
Exactly. Suspect is 9'6". And then they go and arrest like a 5'4" guy anyways.
Last scene in the paint, going hard in the paint. That's all this shit's gonna be. This shit is crazy.
Absolutely.
They're literally creating Grand Theft Auto role playing servers. Like how Grand Theft Auto, they like the technology that you could use, you like put your DNA to get like create a character in video games. They're using that to build out like
to arrest real life black people.
Yeah, they're literally going. That's so crazy.
It is, dude. It's like it's so unbelievable.
They just pull up. You're like, "Is this you?" You're like, "That's CJ from Grand Theft Auto." That's damn.
I mean, the level of like, and you probably heard me hesitate a second ago. Like, you know, I don't like saying things like all cops are stupid. You know, I'm a believer in the systems. The system is the problem, and we can undo the system, and things will be fine. But it's like, how much of a fucking dumbass do you have to be to believe in this shit? This shit is fucking nonsense.
I saw you do it. I was there in San Andreas when you. I synced it. I know it was you.
Oh my God.
I had the controller in my hand. That's so crazy.
This is just.
It's getting. There's like. It's beyond parody. It's beyond absurdity. They're literally using video game characters to arrest real people. You can't. That sentence. The sentence alone is like a Mad TV Dave Chappelle sketch. They're using video game characters to arrest real black people.
Well, it's like our sketch we did for Comedy Central. You know, black guy uploads his character as a wizard. Cops like, thief class again. We gotta arrest this thief class. Like, I'm a wizard, bro.
Which is a classic sketch. Go check it out on Comedy Central.
Shout out us. All right, let's go back to this. When Parabon Nanolabs launched the face prediction service around 2015, its terms of service did not explicitly ban clients from using predictions with facial recognition. Soon after launching, however, the company's law enforcement clients started asking about the viability of running phenotype-generated faces through facial recognition tools. Quote, "We were surprised when we heard this," Greytax says. Which I'm like, why the fuck would you be surprised? Like, what is the point of y'all's company? Like, obviously, this is what cops are going to use it for. Quote, "It's just not the intended purpose of the composite images," okay? It's like the guy who made the atom bombs. Like, are they going to make some fucking movie about this lady too? In 2016, the company added a clause to its terms prohibiting customers from using facial recognition on its snapshot phenotype records. Hilarious. They added a clause. However, the company, quote, "does not have a way to ensure compliance with its terms of service." Yeah, no shit. You know your clients are fucking cops.
Yeah, they're gonna break the law. Who's gonna stop them? The cops?
Yeah, dude. You really think this guy with a fucking Punisher tattoo and a steroid addiction?
I won't do none of that.
Yeah. These aren't the type of people who are reading the full terms of agreement and like, complying with
this is what the fucking cops are doing with that big ass computer in their car. You're like, sir, are you playing fucking? What are you playing? No, I'm doing my job. That's fucking cool. Yeah. That's a good way to get.
I'm getting to the bottom of this.
Nah, nigga, that's fucking Starfield or some shit.
No matter what it takes, whether I gotta go inside whether I gotta go inside or outside the terms of agreement, I'm gonna get to the bottom. Whoever stole this Walgreens baby formula, they're gonna go away for a long time.
That's crazy. I can't believe it. Well, he promised. He said he wouldn't do it. So I mean, I don't know.
The man has his hand on his gun right now.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
We're having a casual conversation. Why is his hand on his gun right now?
Oh, it's weird. It looks like a 2D polygon of you just popped. Weird how that happened. Looks like I'm looking at a criminal.
Yeah. Were you last night walking home at 20 frames per second?
Yeah, this could be you or it could be Crash Bandicoot. I don't know right now. It's looking real. Let me hear you say the word a boogada. Let me hear you go a boogada.
We got him. We got him. Case closed. Oh my God. All right. We got to keep going. This article keeps going. It keeps getting crazier. 8 years later. So this is 8 years after, what was it? 2015, 16. after generating scores of face predictions for law enforcement. And this, I don't want to mention this also. Like, I didn't like. I'm taking excerpts out of this article, but there's not an excerpt here that I included. But the cops are using this shit. I want to make that clear. They are using this shit. So after generating scores of face predictions for law enforcement, some of Parabon Nanolabs clients see little reason to not consider using face recognition on these algorithmically generated faces. Officers at all of the departments that Wired contacted says it should at least be an option. Lynch of the Electronic Frontier Foundation tells Wired that while she is sympathetic to detectives wanting to solve old cold cases and bring closure to a grieving family, the risks of misidentification with this use case are too great. I think it goes to show a complete misunderstanding about the high-risk errors of facial recognition, Lynch says. It's surprising to me that cops think this kind of technology will produce leads they can actually use. It's like, okay, why these are like the most naive, like innocent, pure souls that are like, I thought cops are all like Law and Order
nerds,
detectives.
yeah.
I thought aren't cops all just type A nerds?
I don't get it. Just but mister. Just like, damn.
Exactly.
But you said you weren't gonna use it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like all those science. It's every dumb smart person who, I mean, you know, they like develop. This is every smart person. They develop say Oppenheimer. They develop a technology that could help the world. But then, what if we had guns to it?
Exactly.
What if the military and whip? That's technology. Mm-hmm. How do we hurt people with it? You live on hell, bitch. What do you think? Yeah, but no, fuck robots. I think, yeah, in general.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, no.
We'll delete that statement once the robots come
when the
take
robots take over.
Yeah.
When the AI president algorithm, you know, I apologize.
Yeah.
I don't want to like when you see this. I know you're probably watching this now. Just
Emperor chatbot, we apologize. We didn't mean it.
King DeepSeek, but I am when the AI robot. Damn, I'm about to be called nigga by a robot. in binary. And then 0, 1, 0.
But here's the thing. Honestly, I take this back, this whole thing, because it's like, we can see from like this, that this AI shit sucks, dude. It sucks.
It does.
Like, I'm not scared of AI chatbot.
No, it's not quality.
Like,
that's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
When you look at AI in every in every industry, in every spectrum, yes, there are bright spots, but there are also most applications are commercial nonsense. They're just trash.
These tech guys have really like propagandized us into being afraid of their fucking bullshit ass inventions. Yeah. This shit sucks.
Well,
dude.
that's the nature of the economy we live in. It's part of how we don't produce nothing real. So like just part of the manufacturing and now I'm about to go on a fucking history lesson, but it is just like America produced. That's what gave us money. Now we live in like this age where we don't produce, but we still want money. So what are we going to produce? Fake shit, crypto, shit that's not actual product or that's not real. Cryptocurrency, AI, NFTs, and so if something has no actual value, the thing that gives it value in this day and age is clout and branding and just hype. Overt hype, and AI had all the hype. It was a bubble. Shit got burst when DeepSeek came.
Look how far we let Elon Musk go in this country. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing for all of us that we let this happen.
It was just fucking corpse of a culture we live in. It's just like, god damn.
So continuing on. The fact that law enforcement investigators consider using these predictions in conjunction with facial recognition speaks to a general lack of oversight over investigatory tools, experts say. There are no federal rules that limit the type of images police can use with face recognition software. And it's up to both the police departments and the facial recognition vendor to implement and enforce safeguards. Great. So the vendor who just wants to make money and the police who just wants to do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah, okay. So according to a report released in September by the U.S. Government Accountability Office, only 5% of the 196 FBI agents who have access to facial recognition technology from outside vendors have completed any training on how to properly use the tools. The report notes that the agency also lacks any internal policies for facial recognition to safeguard against privacy and civil liberties abuses. So it goes on. I mean, we don't have to go through this whole thing, but absolute nonsense. I'll just read this last little part because it's hilarious. According to an internal New York Police Department presentation cited by Garvey in a report, NYPD Detective Tom Markowitz wrote in 2018 that the department has tried running face recognition on forensic sketches and found that, quote, sketches do not work. Okay, great experiment. Do you remember? Have you seen that meme of like the news anchors showing their audience the police sketch, and it's just like a circle with a guy with a mustache and a hat, and they're laughing. Yeah. And I'm just imagining the police running that through their AI and being like, "All right, we got 10 million people to go after. Let's move out,
Lock
boys."
them all. Yeah.
In another infamous example that Garvey cites in a report, a detective from the NYPD's facial identification section, crazy they have that, after noting that a suspect looked like actor Woody Harrelson, put a photo of the actor through the department's facial recognition tool. Bro, at that point, just arrest Woody Harrelson. Might as well.
Why did they put Woody Harrelson in it?
Because the guy said that someone said that the guy looked like Woody Harrelson.
Looked like, well, the motherfucker you putting, what the fuck?
So they put the actual Woody Harrelson in.
20 different variations of Woody Harrelson? That doesn't even make sense, bro.
They put it in to see who looks like Woody Harrelson and just start going down the list.
Oh, so it could get a guy. Okay, that's crazy.
But you're right. Like, they have the face. They know Woody Harrelson.
Yeah. And it's just going to generate guys who look like Woody Harrelson.
Exactly.
So where do you go from there?
Exactly.
Like, you just collect Woody Harrelson looking at, like.
Yeah. It's almost like an admission that this whole thing sucks. If you're like, well, we could put it in and it'll show us guys who are not him, but they look like him, and we'll go after them.
And it's like, the problem with, like, what's it called when police overuse, it's a famous term, when they like, oh, you look like meet the description, you fit the description.
Fit the description.
So many times, like, black people just fit the description, and they could just, it's so arbitrary, this arbitrary description. And now that fucking that phenomena that it's already locked black people up has gone digital, and that the power of it has amplified. It's like, I meet the description of now every criminal across all databases of, like, that's just scary.
It's making the police's job more convenient.
Yeah,
it's easier for them to racially profile now.
Yeah.
So shout out AI for making the world a better place. Now, me and Ashton, we've had a lot of fun this episode, and we've ran long, and so unfortunately, we don't like to do this. We don't like to end on a sad note. But we need to do this story on the main episode. We have a lot more fun stories this week that we're going to cover on our Patreon. So please subscribe. It's only $5 a month. You get an extra bonus episode every week. We're going to round out our main episode today with a story coming out of Hawaii. So, Ashton, if you want to take that.
Yeah. So we're going to Hawaii, where Hawaii News Now, where Maui cops have just released body cam footage of a fatal shooting that happened earlier this month. Maui police said the incident began at about 3:46 p.m. Saturday, February 1st, when Central Dispatch received an abuse report from a home on Noho Place in Pukalani. Officers arrived on scene at approximately 3:54 p.m. and were informed that a 20-year-old woman had barricaded herself inside the bedroom with a knife. Police identified her as Michaela DePonte of Haiku. Upon entering the home, officers repeatedly identified themselves and asked if she was okay, but she yelled incoherently and refused to come out, police said. Just before 4 p.m., an officer was entering the kitchen when DuPont emerged with a knife. Police said as she advanced, the officer withdrew his firearm and a second officer withdrew his taser. Both gave verbal commands to show her hands and drop the knife, but she failed to comply. Police said she raised her knife and continued to advance, and an officer fired twice. They had, ladies having mental health issues, she pulls out a knife. 2 cops. They're telling her, put down the knife, put down the knife. One pulls out a gun, one pulls out a taser. Why the gun gets fired first? What's the point of the taser? What's the point of pulling out a non-lethal weapon if you're going to use the lethal weapon first? It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
And it's just, I mean, we see cases like this all the time, but this really highlights, this is such an absurd case because their argument is that we feared for our lives, we're protecting ourselves. This is a 20-year-old tiny girl. Like, she's like, if you look up Michaela, she looks like a college girl you'd see, at the club having a good time. And even like with a knife, like, it's just ridiculous to just open fire on this girl that you were called in for, like, a wellness check. Like, this is someone who's you're being called in because this person is going through a mental health episode, and there's just like, you have, because they'll always say, split second decision. You have here from the quote, the police chief saying police officers are called to make split-second decisions. That's like their classic excuse in rapidly dynamic, evolving situations when faced with an imminent threat. It's like, it wasn't split-second. Like, you knew you were going there. You knew what you were going in for, and you still decide that I'm going to shoot this looks like 100 or maybe 90-pound girl twice, who is going through like a mental, she has a knife, she's barricaded herself in a room, she needs help, and you're gonna shoot her because you're scared.
I'm just always blown away about the things that we don't have. Like, when all these situations take over, I'm not a smart man, Jenny, but whenever like stuff like this happens, I start questioning, like, why don't they have like knife body armor or like tactic? How have the millions of dollars been spent? None of it's been spent on tactics to how to handle a knife-wielding person without killing them. It's always one tactic: put a bullet in their head. That's the am I doing too much expecting more? For millions of dollars we spend on every department, y'all can't come up with a single non-lethal way to subdue people like that. This is the shit that gets people. It's like.
And it's not even, and that's a great point. And it's like, it's not, in my opinion, like, you're still giving them too much credit, because it's like, it's not even like a lack of capability. It's a problem with the culture, because like, I've seen one of their training videos where they literally have this situation, a man with a knife, and he starts approaching you. And in their own training video, what they were supposed to do, what they were being trained to do, is pull the trigger and kill that guy. And that's like, that was them doing good job. You did this correctly. And it's like, it's not even in their minds of like, oh, how could we handle this better? In their minds, that's what you do. If someone ever pulls a knife on you, even if they're on the other side of the room, that's a death sentence for them.
Yeah.
That's what they're trained to do.
All the millions of dollars we spent, fix the culture. You shouldn't have killed the person in your training videos. It's an absurd part of a training video.
Yeah, dude.
And if all else fails,
good job.
And
you win.
And if
here's your gun.
But like, I would, if I had all the money police had, I would be, and I knew I would be setting up traps to catch niggas, like digging holes, like at Looney Tune level. Like, all the money we have, I wouldn't be hurting people. I'd be building brick walls that like look like they're going into like a train, and then I'd be like, follow me this way, and then I have the criminal run into the wall.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It really is the theme of the episode: what they choose and choose not to do with technology.
Do you choose? It's always murder.
Yeah,
it's always murder or fucked up shit. Nothing fun.
Yeah. Well, again, we're sorry we had to end on a sad note today. But if you want more fun, absurd stories, we'll be continuing on our Patreon. So please join us. But either way, thank y'all for tuning in and listening.
Get the Patreon, niggas.